Today, Elon Musk is the richest man on the planet. He launches rockets into space, builds the electric cars of the future, and reshapes entire industries. But few know that once he was just one step away from total collapse. One wrong move, and neither Tesla nor SpaceX would exist. This is the story of how Musk came to the brink of bankruptcy, a story of highs, lows, and one unbelievable miracle. Welcome to Brain Sabotage. In 2002, Elon Musk found himself where every entrepreneur dreams of being. His company PayPal had just been sold to eBay for $1.5 billion. Personally, he walked away with more than $180 million. A fortune big enough for dozens of lifetimes. He could have bought an island, built a villa in Miami, owned a football club, and never worked again. But instead, Musk made a choice that seemed absurd. He didn't retire, he didn't buy a yacht, he didn't disappear into luxury. He decided to pour almost his entire fortune into what the world considered madness, space, and electric cars. The context of those years was merciless. Electric cars were seen as toys for eco-fanatics. They were expensive, slow, unreliable. Newspapers sneered, "The electric car will never replace the gasoline engine." Cartoonists mocked people pushing their green cars by hand because the batteries had died. Private spaceflight looked even more ridiculous. Until then, only governments went to space. NASA, Roscosmos, the European Space Agency. And suddenly, a billionaire from California declares, "I will build my own rocket." Friends and investors were shocked. They begged him, "Elon, stop. You'll lose everything. You already have money. Why risk it?" But Musk wouldn't listen. He said, "If we don't do this now, the future will be lost." For him, it wasn't an investment. It was a mission. He believed oil and gasoline would destroy the planet. He believed humanity had no future without reaching the stars. And for that mission, he was willing to risk it all. Not just his money, but his name, his reputation, his entire life. To the world, he looked like a gambler, a millionaire gone mad, throwing his fortune into the fire. It felt like the beginning of a great story. But very soon, Musk would learn. To go against the whole world means paying an enormous price, and the very next step he took nearly wiped out his entire fortune. In 2002, Musk founded a company he called Space Exploration Technologies. Simpler name, SpaceX. Its headquarters, an old warehouse in Long Beach. No luxury offices, no gloss. Just an empty space where a handful of engineers tried to piece together a rocket from parts ordered across America. Musk involved himself in everything, from engine design to the purchase of bolts. He slept on the factory floor, argued with engineers, and demanded the impossible. He wasn't just an investor, he was obsessed. Then came 2006, the first launch of Falcon 1, a small rocket almost hand-built. The world watched Musk with curiosity. Countdown, ignition. 30 seconds later, explosion. The press tore him apart. Headlines read, "Millionaire plays astronaut." Journalists laughed. "This isn't business, it's just a rich man's toy." But Musk didn't stop. 2007. The second attempt. New team, new calculations. Everyone believed this time it will work. The rocket lifted into the sky. For a few minutes, everything was perfect. Then, the engine died. Falcon crashed. Again, Musk stood at the edge, but still, he pressed forward. 2008. The third attempt. The last chance. Musk put nearly all his money on the line. Launch. The rocket climbed higher. Minutes felt like hours. And then, failure. Falcon spun out of control and plunged into the ocean. Silence in the room. Engineers covered their faces. Some cried, Others just stared. NASA turned away. In the eyes of officials, Musk was no longer a visionary. He was the man who had failed 3 launches in a row. In the history of spaceflight, it had never happened before. 3 rockets, 3 disasters, not a single success. The company was nearly bankrupt. The money was gone. The employees were exhausted, unsure if they even believed anymore. In the workshops, whispers spread. One more failure, and it's over. But at that very moment, Musk made his most reckless decision yet. He chose to try a 4th time, to risk everything he had left, to bet not only his money, but his last hope. While SpaceX was fighting for survival, Musk was battling on another front. In 2004, he became the main investor in a small company called Tesla Motors. Its founders, Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, dreamed of proving that an electric car didn't have to be a slow box for eco-fanatics, but a true sports car. Their idea was bold: build an electric supercar on the chassis of the Lotus Elise, call it the Roadster, and sell it for $60,000. Soon, the dream turned into a nightmare. Production was delayed for years. The price kept climbing, first to $80,000, then to $140,000. The quality was terrible. Batteries failed. Cars broke down right in the hands of customers. The media was merciless. Headlines read, "The electric car is just a rich man's toy. It will never be the future of transportation." Journalists mocked Musk, comparing Tesla to the failed dot-com startups of the 90s. And as if that wasn't enough, in 2008, the global financial crisis hit. Investors panicked and fled the market. Money drained out of Tesla. The company was losing millions every month. Employees were leaving by the dozens. Musk poured in his last $20 million from his own pocket. He was living on borrowed cash. His wife would later recall, "We literally didn't know how we were going to pay for food. It was absurd. A billionaire on paper, but without cash to survive. A man who once could have bought an island, now didn't know how to buy groceries." Tesla was teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. Every day could have been its last. And in that moment, Musk was trapped. SpaceX collapsing after 3 failed launches. Tesla drowning in crisis. Both of his dreams could die at the same time. Fall 2008. Elon Musk stands on the edge of catastrophe. Both of his dreams are collapsing at the same time. SpaceX, 3 launches, 3 failures. The first rocket exploded after 30 seconds. The second lost thrust and fell into the ocean. The third destroyed the last hopes. Now only one chance remained, a 4th launch. If it failed, the company would die. But that was only half the nightmare. At the same time, Tesla was falling apart. The money was gone. Investors fled. Employees quit or worked without pay. Factories stood still. Newspapers wrote, "The electric car is a dead end. Musk is just playing with toys for the rich." Meanwhile, the global financial crisis was wiping out startups all over the world. Tesla became an easy target for critics. Every new day could have been its last. Musk borrowed money from friends. He begged acquaintances for loans just to cover part of his employees' salaries. Tesla and SpaceX will die on the same day. And at the same time, his personal life collapsed. His marriage was breaking apart. His home life had become chaos. He was losing everything that once gave him strength. Later, he would admit, "I thought it was the end, that I would lose everything." It was the darkest moment of his life. He stood on the edge of total collapse, on the edge of bankruptcy, the loss of his reputation, the edge of oblivion. And only one question remained. Could he risk it all one more time? Could he bet everything left on one last card? The answer would come with the 4th launch of Falcon 1. September 28, 2008. A day that would forever change the history of private spaceflight. The SpaceX team prepares Falcon 1 for launch. This isn't just the 4th attempt. It's the last chance. Inside Mission Control, engineers stand exhausted from sleepless nights. They know, either today the rocket reaches orbit or SpaceX dies. In every pair of eyes, silence and tension. Cameras capture their faces. Fear, fatigue, hope. Musk sits among them. He hasn't slept for weeks. He's poured in every dollar he had left. And he knows, after this there will be no room for failure. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch. The rocket tears into the sky. The first seconds. Critical. Everyone is silent. Everyone waits. It keeps flying. 1 minute, 2, 3. Every passing moment cuts like a knife across raw nerves. The team stares at the monitors, hardly daring to breathe. And then, the impossible happens. Falcon 1 reaches orbit. For the first time in history, a private company has launched a rocket into space. The room explodes. Engineers cry and hug each other. Some shout with joy. Some collapse to their knees. These people had worked at the very limits of human endurance, and now they know it was all worth it. Elon Musk sits in his chair, hands covering his face. He's on the edge of collapse from exhaustion. But then, a smile breaks through. He knows he did it. SpaceX has made history, and no one can ever again say his dream is impossible. Today, Elon Musk is seen as both a genius and a madman. He's called the savior of humanity and the greatest entrepreneur of our time. But in 2008, it all could have ended. 3 failures, a global crisis, living on credit, almost bankruptcy. And then, a miracle at the very last moment. This story reminds us, success isn't only about billions. It's also about risking everything. And one question still remains. How many more times will Musk have to go all in?